Welcome back to Runaway with Taborland, and today is a very special episode. Today is the 1 year review on this little camper. I'm going to go over the whole thing to show you what I love about it so far, what I don't like about it so far, which is, spoiler alert, very minimal. And we're just going to go over all the quality after a year out camping. I think I've been on 12 camping trips this year, state parks, little places, and even one time right here in the old garage after a hurricane. So stick around, 1 year review, how's she holding up? You're gonna find out coming next.
Huh? What?
No.
What?
So I can't believe it's been a year with this little camper after, months and months of research on what camper would work best for my family, settling on the Runaway. And here we are a year later, many videos later, and we're going to see what this looks like after a year of pretty good camping. I wouldn't say, massive amounts of camping, but good camping. So let's give the quick run around. So you got to start someplace on doing a review of your camper after a year. And I say everybody has to start from the bottom and work their way to the top. So we're going to start with the tires that Runaway provides you. And I wish I could tell you all about tires, but I can't. I just know they're Rainiers. They've held up well. The tread is still pristine after all my camping trips. And I don't see any damage to the rims, no damage to anything after a year of being on the road. Maybe just a little dirty, because that's another thing. I have not washed my Runaway in a year. But there's one thing I haven't done in a year on my tires, and that is check the tire pressure to see if they need air. Now, honestly, you should do that every time you take it out. But I just neglected it. I never thought about it. I just hooked it up, kicked them. They were great, and started up. So, while I'm doing this video, I'm going to go ahead and fill the tires. And before you kill me in the comments, I know I'm an idiot. I should have done it, but I didn't. And if you could tell already, I don't know if this camera can pan down, it's really hot today. By the time I set up the cameras and got everything out of the Runaway, already a sweaty mess. But if you watch my last videos, I did check my nose this time, so no bats in the cave, I guess you could say, which is pretty embarrassing. All right, enough of that.
Ew!
So first off, I took off my handy dandy Bigfoot caps because I'm just, a little extra. But the tire says I need to fill it up to 50 psi. Now, I've always heard that you don't exactly fill it up to 50 psi because that's good. So you usually do a couple degrees. Let me know in the comments if that's a couple psi down. So I'm going to fill it up to about 45 psi. But after a year, looking at it now, it's sitting at 32 psi. So after a year of not filling it up, it's still at 32 psi. So let's go ahead and fill her up. So here we are, 1 year later, and we got my Runaway with all its little upgrades. If you watch my first video ever on this channel, you will see all the upgrades I did to this tiny camper. And of course, I have the back door, which is an option from Runaway. Let me back up a little so you can see it. So let me just show you, after a year, it's like only minor dirt. So if you can see the roof, hopefully I can't see my camera. But if you can see the roof, very just dirty. No problems. I've had no problems with the body of the camper. It's so well built with this one-piece cap covering the top with nothing drilled in it was my main selling point. It's just, it's got a lot of pollen on it right now because I told you I haven't washed this yet. But only surface dirt. I don't know if you can see it. You can barely see it, but really easily cleanable. Very durable. Very happy with the construction of the Runaway. Now on the inside, let's see the inside, how that's held up. So the inside is pretty darn good, as you can see. No problems whatsoever from the ceiling to leaks to everything. This thing is pristine. Now I will say this, I mean, all these are my fault because I have wheels on my bed and the bed is heavy. So I have the lit pad beds and I have these little wheels on them so I can maneuver them around the camper to make it easier. But as you can see, everywhere the wheels go leaves indentions and scrape marks. So the flooring is basically, I did it because, well, I guess you're always the person who ruined your camper if you think about it. But, so my video after this is going to be the modifications I did to my Runaway and which ones I regret, which ones I recommend for everybody to get, and ones are on the fence. But that's next week. It's always tease, tease, tease. This week, let's take a look on the inside. So we'll start in the back. This is running perfectly. As you can see, it's not falling off. It's still sturdy, looking really good. No damage around, nothing coming in. Just little, scrapes and just scrapes. The windows, still looking pristine, still easy to use. You have the two slides, as you can see, where you can have the pass through. You can slide it closed like that, or just have the window open with the screen still in place. Screen looks great, framing looks great, no leaks whatsoever on both sides. So windows in are fantastic. I would say the only thing that I would change on the windows is how you open them, because you gotta, if you can see it, you gotta pull out on this tab to open it, and you can see it gets stuck a little bit, but once it slides, it slides. And then also every time I open it, the screen's coming with it. So I always have to go back and detach the screen from the side to shut it. But that's my only gripe about the windows. Everything else about it is great. Maybe they can go to those windows that you can pop out and pop in, but these are great. Next up, let's talk doors, because doors are a big thing on the Runaway, because you have this big door in the back and the two doors on the side. So the only thing I can see is this is railing coming down. So if you could see how there's no gap here, but the further you get over, there's a big gap. It has not been a problem. The rain and stuff has not gotten in because there's actually like a lip on it. So no rain has gotten inside. I'm just saying I don't know why there's a gap there and not on this side, but the hardware used after a year, being in the rain, being in some hail. Yeah, I forgot to mention that, the hail. Nothing on the roof in a hailstorm. And then what I love is, have you seen these on a lot of campers? Listen, you didn't hear anything. It wasn't on mute. It's because these hinges are not those really squeaky hinges that you see in others. Now, I don't know if everybody else in the Runaway family, they have that problem, squeaky doors, but I have not. Sealer around the doors, looking really good. No problems, no cracks, nothing. These doors have the locking mechanism, and everything is still running smoothly without issue. It's not loose or anything. And when you close it, closes great. Now I blacked out the door handles to match my keys, because that's a gripe. So as you know, if you don't know, when you buy a Runaway, you get your keys for the camper, which are these 3 keys, the black ones right here. These are your door keys for all your doors. And you see they're color coded. There's the red one. There's the black one for the back door. Red, I did it for red for right side. And then the blank one for the blank door. But all these other keys, this is to my lock box. This is to my tire locks, my tongue lock, basically all my safety locks. These are all the keys. So if you think about it, you look at this, this is a ton of keys for a 6x8 camper. Would you agree? It's like way too many keys, and you have 2 sets of them. So that's my only gripe. Can they go to 1 door key? I don't think they can. I think they've tested that. Of course, you can always upgrade to the electric door. On the outside, you don't have, sorry for the bird. Oh my Lord. You don't have keys here because you have your 2 locks, but you don't have key. You have a keypad. So the electric key opener, you would have to get on your own. Runaway doesn't offer that, at least as far as I know. I haven't looked at the website. I looked at it last week, but not recently. Well, that is recently. Let's talk fantastic fan. Still working good, looks good, light works, and more importantly, the fan works. But I will say this about the fan. I don't use it. I usually have just been camping in the winter, and I have not used or utilized this fan. I have used the light. That's not an issue. The solar system, if you saw my last video, you see how much I use the solar system package, which is not much. And my only gripe about this, it's a great system. The only thing I gripe about is having a battery kill switch. There's no battery kill switch on it, so you got to kind of constantly keep it charged. All right. You're asking, the main thing about this camper is this guy, especially for the hotter days. This camper and this AEC unit has been perfect for me for the whole year. For every trip I've been on, it's been on and has been fantastic. My only gripe about it is I wish it was digital. So I wish Runaway offered a digital option for the AC unit. That would be, allow the consumer to say they want the upgrade and pay the extra for an upgraded AC unit. But the standard one, it works. So if you want to keep your costs down, that works great.
I feel a butt coming on.
So one more thing, my only gripe about the AC. My second gripe about the AC is, why do they put it in the middle? Is it for feng shui? Is it cool the camper off faster? I mean, it's a tiny camper. It's not going to take long to cool it off. Is it for weight balance? Is it for structure integrity? Because you have more around it holding it in place. Why don't they, if I were building these, and I'm not as smart as the people at Runaway, I will say that, I would have moved the AC unit to the corner. Because having it right in the middle affects 2 things. It affects your interior space because you really can't do much around it because it's just right in the middle. So you don't have really much room on this side and you don't have really much room on that side. So I feel it would have been better if you put it on that side. Plus, when you're at your campsite, that's the campsite door, okay? It would have been really nice to have it further over. So when you're camping and say you're like, oh, it's getting pretty warm, let me turn the AC on. You don't have to crawl in your camper to do it. You can just go to the door, turn the switches, turn it on, close the door, and you're done. The second problem with the AC being in the middle for me is on the outside. It gives you very little wiggle room out here. The space between the cage and the box of the AC unit, you don't have much room. I'll show you. So when you have gear on your, I guess, cargo rack, the space here, it's like a hand's width. It's not very big. So you can't stack I can't stack 2 bins no matter what. Even if I didn't have this in here, I still couldn't stack stuff. Also, my thing is small enough to fit under it. So if this was on this side, like I said, the camp side, I could move that over here and have more vertical space for cargo. And I don't know. Can anybody explain why it's in the middle? Is it just, better? I don't know. Maybe it looks better, but I prefer it, of course, more over on the left side, just to give me more space on the inside and more space on the outside.
Okay. Well, we got to get going.
Oh, Allison is doing a little gardening today, so it's a beautiful day to do it, as you can see in Tallahassee. But going to the front. So everything up here is looking mighty fine as well. No problems with this. Everything still works nice and smooth. The handle is, a little flimsy, but I don't know enough about trailers to know if that's normal or not. But it is a pain in the rear. I kind of wish they offered an electric. But that's just me being lazy. I want an electric lift on a tiny camper. I know. Terrible, right? All the electronics still doing a great job. Everything looks great. Look at the chains on this thing. They still look brand new after a year. So they are doing great. Splash guards, I've had no issues with the splash guard or rock guard or anything you want to call it. It's not moving. It's not peeling. I saw some people had issues with it. I saw one person that had issues with it, but other than that, the guards are great. Fenders are still looking fantastic. Nothing happening with them. Working perfectly. They're not even dented. Fantastic fenders they put on these Runaways. As you can see on this door, not like the back door, it's perfect all the way around. And like I said, look, you do the noise test. Oh, that was my fingers. Don't want to think it was the door. It's not the door, it's me. So the only thing that on these windows, these little rubber pieces right here, they fell off the bottom. I don't know if that makes a huge difference, but if you know, let me know in the comment section. So same thing on this window. The plugs are in, but they have fallen off the bottom. So I remember seeing them when I bought it. So now I'm rethinking, is that just the way the window comes? So is that just how water escapes the frame if any gets in there or moisture? So maybe they're not supposed to be plugged. I don't know. Leave a comment. I know a lot of you out there. Warhorse Todd, if you're listening, are there supposed to be plugs here? Leave in the comments. Tail lights are still looking good, working great. No problems or issues with the tail lights. Roof rack. Roof rack has been amazing. Highly recommend that you install the roof rack on your Runaway. You purchase it because it is separate, but The roof rack is great. Now, I will say this. The bars that they use on the roof rack, if I can get an image of it, they're pretty thick. So if you have to put stuff around it like I did here for this modification, these bars are really, they're like, you know, big. Really thick, really big. Kind of wish they were, well, I guess they can't be smaller due to the fact that some people put rooftop tents on these, so I can see why they're thicker. Just I don't put anything really heavy up there. Now I got the cable inlet. I think just because it was $35, and why not put it in than rather not have it for 35 bucks. But my only gripe with that, it's perfect on the outside. You can get to it really easy, but let me show you the inside. So on the inside, you take off this cover and it sits way back in there. And I don't see how my little fingers are gonna twist the cable into that. Now, if you have tiny fingers, it might be a little easier. But for me, it's gonna be difficult if I ever use it, which I probably won't, but it was good to have than not have. The Rhino Rack Batwing Awning has been fantastic. I've only used it one time because if you watch my videos, you know I use a Gazelle screen tent for when I'm outside, but I have used it once. I will say this, when it rains, water gets inside this. So if it ever rains on your Runaway or you park it outside, you're gonna need to come out, open it up to air it out so you don't get that moisture built inside it. But you know, there's no movement on it. I'm moving too, so there's no movement. It's still rock solid on here. It's installed well, held up when I go 70 miles an hour on the highway on this thing. So really, really good, well built, installed Batwing awning. And the jacks. Let's see. These jacks, it's hard to do with one hand. So you have to pull them out and put down and then lower the boom. Now these still are in perfect shape. They're just, it's hard to say. They're a little difficult, especially you can't do it really with one hand, even though I just did. But you can't stand up. You have to get down and get it. So they're not real easy. They're easier, I guess, than the ones you have to crank down. But especially when they're locked and you got to try and press this to unlock them to pull this back up, can be a pain in the butt. But they're working as they were brand new. So perfect. And my spare tire still looking good. I have not needed to use the spare tire. So hey, look at me. It's got the little spiky things still on it. So I'd like to give a big shout out to AZXP and Grumpy Old Warhorse Todd, who's becoming like a best friend of mine on this channel. Man, somebody wins a prize and they become a good friend. Anyways, I'd like to thank them for reaching out in the comments section of my last video about the whole solar package, because they put in some great comments about it to help everybody out that's looking for the solar package. And they knew quite a lot more about it than I did. So please look at the comments section on that. Give them a thumbs up, and I really appreciate. Thank you so much for reaching out and sharing your insights on the solar package. And as you can see, it is getting pretty hot. Pretty hot in these rhinos. Sorry. So, all in all, I love my Runaway. I really do. Now, I do get frustrated sometimes because it is small and you have really nowhere to go. If it's bad weather or really hot and you just want to sit in some air conditioning. So I can see why people with bigger campers, that's why they get them. My Runaway, perfect winter camping. Summer camping, not so much. I've only been once and it's a scorcher. So that concludes this episode of Runaway with Taborland. I hope me walking around my Runaway after a year has been helpful. You can see what the things I like about it, what I didn't like about it, what I would change. And if anybody's listening from Runaway, I really want to know why the AC unit's not on the side. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.